Too hot for TV.
Welcome back to Doctor Who, Too Hot for TV. We are the podcast that looks at all things Doctor Who Extended Universe. Today, I'm joined by a new guest, somebody that I don't think many of the listeners will know who he is, unless they met us at the Android Invasion convention a few months back. It's Nigel Bromley. Nigel, how are you?
Fabulous.
Excellent. It's wonderful to have you here. So what are you doing here?
Well, are we speaking geographically or philosophically? Well, I'm just sat here talking to you in an Italian coffee shop.
Yes, you can.
Very loud patron. And we've been making lots of City of Death jokes.
I'm sure you can pick them up behind us at the moment.
2 glasses of water, patron, and make it snappy.
Nigel, how do we know each other?
Well, we've known each other for 28, 30 years.
Something like that.
Through Doctor Who, going to adventures together, and we were connected via your lovely old dad.
Indeed.
He was a Doctor Who fan, and I met him at a restaurant, and I made some joke about Doctor Who, and he just looked at me and went, clicked his finger and pointed. Sorry. I'm much more used to being filmed, and we went, oh, Doctor Who, and we started talking about Doctor Who, and the people we were with went, oh, fuck, they've met. And that was the beginning of a lovely friendship. And then within a year, we were going to, I think, Longleat.
Yeah. No, I think Longleat was the first one, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think that was the first one.
With Tom and Nick Courtney doing that. There was like a sketch with Cybermen and things.
Cybermen invaded and there were explosions.
Yeah.
And then there was a big sign with Battlefield on it. You had picked it up and stuck it in the back of your car.
Oh, we did, didn't it? I forgot about that. I don't have that anymore. Won't be worth any money anyway.
No, yeah, it was printed on foam. Yeah.
Yeah. And so over the years, we've probably been to 20 Doctor Who conventions.
We've queued up on staircases all over the places in England, from Slough to Coventry.
I know.
We know shit towns in England like the back of our hands.
all the exciting places. Doctor Who conventions are never in any way glamorous, are they?
No, why is that?
Because they're too expensive.
I demand to know why that is.
I guess it's because the conference centres in like big posh hotels are really expensive.
It's never that many. The old Panopticons and things.
Yeah.
And the ones in Coventry, there was only 28 people a turn. Almost all looking sweaty in a black t-shirt, and 3 of them with scarves on. And I was always one with a scarf.
You were. Always a t-shirt that's a bit too small for them as well.
Yes.
See a bit of midriff.
A bit of midriff and a bit of bum crack. Yeah. Oh, that was hardcore Doctor Who for them, I can tell you.
Yeah, kids these days with their Disney Plus, they don't know they're born.
No.
So
that was when you went to conventions to watch episodes.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't.
Yeah, you go to the video room.
So long ago. Yeah, video room.
The Invisible Enemy. I haven't seen that.
Oh, look, a giant prawn.
I remember specifically seeing The Invisible Enemy, Warrior's Gate, Reign of Terror, The Awakening, all those for the first time in a video room with 20 other animals.
Yes, I went to a convention in Oxford without you, I'm afraid to say.
You bastard.
Unfaithful. I spent a lot of it in the video tent, and I remember getting very confused watching episodes 5 and 6 of Planet of the Spiders, which are basically the same episode, aren't they? and I thought there was something wrong with my brain because I couldn't understand what was going on and why. Have you seen that? I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know. Perhaps my scarf's too tight and it's taken the blood off to my brain.
So, before we met, when did you become a Doctor Who fan?
My dad was a Doctor Who fan.
Oh.
I'm ancient. And so the first memory is Carnival of Monsters, the end of the episode where the Sheik first appear. That's episode 1 or 2. And that's my very early memory. And then I've got lots of memories of John Pertwee's final season.
Yeah.
Which was very enjoyable. And then I was just the perfect age. I was about 5.5, 6 when Tom appeared.
Yeah.
And, you know, I really loved it. My dad enjoyed it. I have a distinct memory of Revenge of the Cybermen and my dad saying, "Oh, you remember what these monsters were?" And I'm like, "No." So you do remember. Anyway, of course, when you become old, you become a fan and you look back, you realise he was trying to make me remember something from 1968.
That you hadn't seen.
No, I was born during the invasion. So I don't know what's going on with his memory.
It was on as you were born.
Well, that's yes.
On a portable set in the corner.
Exactly. Well, my dad was probably outside smoking a fag, wasn't he, while being born, because it was the 1960s.
Of course.
Didn't get involved in
that sort of stuff.
No. So, so I was just really lucky. And the golden period for me are those, well, Tom Baker was amazing, but those first 3 or 4 seasons. And I am very boring. And I just go round and round and round watching those and thinking about them and messaging you about them when I'm watching them. Which is a weird way to develop a friendship, isn't it? To just randomly send out text messages with a quote from us.
That's all I need. Something from Planet Evil and I'm done.
I'm just thinking about it now. That all I do is go, "Oh, Dylan, I'm watching this quote." On a programme we've both watched 500 times.
It's true. Seen it on telly, seen it on UK Gold, seen it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray.
The bootleg VHS.
iPlayer.
Yeah, read about it. The Target books. I will always be. No, I am dyslexic and really bad reader. And I was genuinely one of those Terence Dick's children who learned to read and found a love of reading because of the Target.
Excellent.
So yeah, it was just a brilliant childhood with Doctor Who on the telly, Tom Baker striding around. And we even had the most exciting thing. We had 2 huge trees rocking in a garden that in my mind looked like a crinoid. So I looked out my bedroom window and I could see a couple of crinoids wobbling around at the bottom of the garden.
Well, that is the beauty of the crinoid, is that all trees look like them.
Oh, absolutely. Exactly. But neither of them sort of tiptoed around the garden in an unconvincing fashion, going, "Oh."
And neither were they likely to, thank God.
Yes, otherwise none of us would be here. No touch Paul.
What is your relationship with spin-off media? So that the world beyond the show, you mentioned Target books.
Target books, yeah. So got into Target books, and next big spin-off thing we may just talk about.
Excellent.
Genesis of the Daleks.
Excellent.
So I had the LP, still got it, which I played to death.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was, with the show right to the end in 1989. So I learnt that Doctor Who could grow and develop in different media because it stopped being on the telly, but it continued to be in those other media. So I just, as budgets allowed, consumed the new adventures, missing adventures, some comic-y stuff, not a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, dipped in and out all the way through, and then Big Finish dipped into that.
Stole your heart.
It did. It really has, yeah. And I spend a lot of money on my Big Finish.
Good.
Still.
Excellent. So you mentioned the first thing we're going to talk about today, which was, of course, the Genesis of the Daleks LP, released in October of 1979 on LP and cassette, credited as written by Derek Goom.
Really? Who's he?
Who knows, but he wrote the narration and sort of figured out how to edit it all down.
I stepped from the TARDIS, that narration.
That one. It came from BBC Records.
Yes.
Not much other releases at the time, but on TV was City of Death and The Creature from the Pit.
Oh, halcyon day.
Indeed. So, did you get this straight away in 1979? When did you first pick it up?
So, I saved up for it. So there was a record store in a town I grew up in, and I would go in every week, and there was all the popular music.
Mm-hmm.
So I was about 10. So all the pop music, which I was starting to become aware of, early 80s synth pop, nearly round the corner, post-punk, all very exciting. So I would look at that, but not really understand it. And then I would go look at the BBC Records thing, and there was theme tunes, and there was Genesis Daleks, and I would look at it, and it probably took me about 4 months to save up to buy this record. And then I did, and then played it to death. And it was so, to have a real piece of Doctor Who that you could enjoy whenever you wanted was amazing. And it still is.
Yeah. Seems mad to people now.
Why didn't they do more of it?
It's odd, isn't it?
I don't know if you know, but I'm assuming it sold reasonably well.
Especially because it feels like one of the most exploited bits of Doctor Who merch. It's been released and re-released so
and I bought every single version.
Your entire house is just made of
Genesis stuff. It was the Genesis of the Daleks.
Because it was a weird thing. I owned the VHS by the time I got round to buying it.
Thank you, Johnny come late.
But there was something about
the big pink double thing with Sontaran.
Yeah, exactly. So I got that in '91, and then at some point, a car boot fair, whatever, I ended up with the LP of it, and it's a weird thing. I can picture it now in my mind's eye, but it's a weird thing to go, well, I've got this VHS so I can watch the whole thing, and I still really enjoyed late at night putting on that record as a 10-year-old and listening to something that I had the definitive version of elsewhere.
Do you think then that in some accidental way the Genesis of the Daleks has taught us that we can enjoy the same thing differently in different formats?
I think so,
because I've also reread the Target novel once every decade. I just get it out and wave it around.
Have you listened to the audiobook of it?
Ooh.
So I haven't.
No. Who read that?
I don't know. Yeah, it can't be Ian Martin. He was dead. I imagine it was Tom.
I don't know. I'm going to have to Google it. As soon as we finish doing this, I'm on Google.
It's a slight book, isn't it?
It is a slight book. It's disappointingly slight.
Yeah.
With a fabulous front cover.
Yeah. But it's that period where Terrance Dicks is doing...
banging them ahead.
Yeah. He's got a lot to do. He's got to get through them.
Yeah.
110 pages or something.
Now, for little kids, they can't fucking read. I'm not going to do any description.
Exactly. So, does it translate well to audio?
Curiously well. I haven't really thought of... I've always just really, really enjoyed it. And back in the day, I had my little Pally Toy Dalek, my little Tom Baker figure, and my carpet was the Baron Service of Skaro, and I played this, and we were off. Kind of tempted to do it again. But anyway, my wife's out tonight. Maybe we'll have Genesis. Anyway, I wonder what the dogs can be. Muted. Yeah, perfect. Mutos. Perfect. Yeah. So that was fab. So I re-listened to it, ready for this.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. It's almost as if it was made for audio. Just because you've got these rich voices, very clear-cut characters, a cracking good narrative that is quite easy to follow, but nonetheless tense and exciting.
Yeah.
And even the music's good, isn't it? Which, could be a bit hit and miss with Dudley.
Yeah.
Was it Dudley that did it?
It was Dudley, yeah.
Dudley Simpson, as he liked to call himself, or something like that, wasn't it? But yeah, so even the music's...
because he slipped into sort of a house style by that point, sort of banging out like
4 instruments, twiddly-dum, big noises.
Yeah. Some of them work, some of them don't, and you just sort of go, the good ones are really good.
But there are few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one's really good. It's really haunting. The music seems to fit the dark underbelly of the story.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a cliche, but it sort of works better. I mean, Genesis is Genesis is quite a good production. There aren't many things that let it down in terms of it's not, it's not wobbly sets and shit-looking monsters.
Do you know what lets it down the most?
What?
Having watched some of it. The little Dalek indicator lighty things don't light up when they're talking all the time.
That's true, but it's very early on, isn't it?
I know, but it's slightly, gives me a facial tick. So it's better on audio.
So there is something about the atmosphere of it on audio that is...
encompassing. It's like a big warm blanket that surrounds you.
And you're not in that studio environment, so you can sort of you can picture the characters, but it's a more expansive world.
Yeah.
And I know it's what everybody says about Big Finish, like, there's no visual, so...
The pictures are better.
But there is... It's weird that it still works with something that I know so well visually.
I think there's a strange... Here's a funny story. I went to, which you'll probably edit out, I went to the theatre last year to see these 2 chaps who do Dad's Army. I don't know if you've heard of them. They do In fact, one of them was in a Peter Capaldi episode as well. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. They both do 3 scripts that are missing from Dad's Army scripts. And they wear the uniform. They have 2 1940s looking mics, and they do all of the voices, the 2 of them.
Right.
And they often have conversations with themselves. And a weird thing happens because you know the story and a lot of it. You know what it looks like, and yet someone's performing just the words in front of you, and you go into this strange zone where you're listening and seeing your own pictures, which are stylized versions of the actual film footage. And the same thing happens with Genesis. You're in this kind of weird world where it's the voices and the narrative, but you're seeing something better than it ever was.
Yeah.
And it's warm and cozy and fabulous and amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it too. It is odd that they didn't do more of them, as you said earlier. Like, why is there not a Revenge of the Cybermen or a Mask of Mandragora? Like, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that it sold well later on, and actually at the time, for some reason, didn't. But they were at the highest popularity of the show.
Put Daleks on something, it should. Yeah, it's never been more popular through that decade. And through Tom.
I mean, City of Death's on telly, which is literally the most viewed episode of the classic series.
Don't know.
Very odd.
Strange BBC.
Yeah.
Merchandise or whatever it was, decision making.
But also, back then, it wasn't until Star Wars comes along, which is sort of has just come along.
Yeah.
But where people go, oh, well, this has been successful. We should do more in a way in terms of merchandise. Like, you just had a bit and it happened and then it was gone. It was gone. Nobody thought, well, if that's successful, we'll do the next one and the next one and the next one. It was just, we've done that. And then
something else.
Derek Goom moves on. And,
where is he now?
Probably long dead.
Do you think?
I imagine.
Well, let's hope he's listening to this.
I hope he is. Yeah. If you're out there, Derek, give us a shout.
Somebody's now racing to set up a fake Facebook profile to message you directly.
How does the edit work? Because obviously we're taking 2.5 hours and cutting it down to an hour.
Well, in light of the war games, popularized frenetic thing, this is amazing, isn't it? Because it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel like any moment is wasted, and you can tell what's happening. Now, obviously, there's quite a lot cut out of it. But
the clam's gone.
Yeah, I do miss the giant clam.
But also, it's a very visual thing, so you don't need it in the audio.
I think it works so well. So somebody did the most amazing job of editing it there.
The landmine's gone.
Yeah.
The first episode is done in 5 minutes.
Is it?
Yes, and then.
You've done some research.
Well, no, I was just sort of making, you know the story well, and I would notice where the episode endings were, and I was like, and so the second one is done in 15 minutes, and then episode 3 is only 7 minutes long, but it keeps all the key beats. And so I'm sort of wondering, so it's the last 3 episodes.
Perhaps they should have brought out another LP with just the bits they removed. For the hardcore Nutter fan.
I'd buy it.
I would as well. Oh God, we're so sad.
But I think there's a thing of, obviously, with editing it down 5 hours of the war games, it's a lot harder than doing 2.5 hours. But this feels like, I think to give credit to the people that did the war games and the Daleks, they're trying to edit it for a modern television audience.
Which is faster paced.
Yeah.
Shorter
faster pace, big set pieces, short scenes, all that stuff. So they're trying to turn it into something it's not. Whereas this is sympathetic.
And I suspect not really working. Because those edits are neither fish nor fowl, to use an old expression.
Whereas this is interested in telling the same story, keeping the pacing, but cutting down the timing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So it's still, because people don't know how to make drama differently at that point. They don't know.
To make it.
Yeah, exactly.
But somebody's edited out, they've kept the main plot, they've taken all the B plots away, everything else. They've kept the main stuff and the big showpiece moments, and yet stitched it together so it has a sort of a rise and a fall over the 2 sides of the LP.
Yeah, obviously.
So they had to work to that as well.
Yeah, so I was listening to an MP3 of it as an hour, but of course there's a point where...
Because we're in a world where, bands made albums. These are all strange words to anybody under 100, aren't they? Made albums that were complete works. So the whole album had a tone and a feel and a theme. and they designed them to rise and fall and finish at the end of the record.
Yeah.
So you turned it over to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a whole different skill set that nobody thinks about anymore.
And someone's done that with this now.
And they've done it brilliantly. And we have a new end of the side one, don't we? Which isn't an episode.
What is the end of side one?
Isn't it? I said Sarah and Harry in there.
Ah, yes.
Only he said it in a better voice. I said Sarah.
Well, let's talk about
Sarah
Tom.
and Harry.
Tom's narration.
Excellent. What a joy. So my memory of watching it growing up in the 70s is of this amazing character, but also a slippery, ill-defined, difficult to replicate or understand character of the Doctor. But you wanted to spend time with him. You couldn't take your eyes off him, as people have said before on the screen.
Yeah.
But so every episode, when it was on the telly, I was trying to drink in this amazing personality of the Doctor. So to then have your own private version in your huge 1970s earphones, and it's his voice telling the story, it felt very personal.
And it's done in character. It's done in first person.
Yes.
Which, similar to, there was missing episode audios that he did, which I would have heard at the same time as this.
Yeah.
Clouds and Stories. He's doing Power of the Daleks, but he's doing
As the
it
Doctor.
as the Doctor. So it all sort of, for me, is coming to it in the 90s. It all sort of meshes together as like, well, that Tom tells these stories as the Doctor. It does have one glaring error right at the start where he goes, I step
From the TARDIS.
and then immediately talks about a trans man.
Yes.
But
And it only took me 40 years to spot that.
me too. I'd never noticed it before.
I stood from the
I was like,
TARDIS.
no, you bloody didn't.
I wonder how they set up that recording as well, because there's nothing else, is there, in the sound? There's his voice, and it feels much calmer and deeper.
Yeah.
It's not rushed. So they were going for a particular feel to the narration, I assume.
And I wonder whether he had to do it to the audio when there was a visual with it, or whether it would just record it and we'll slap it in. Because you're still recording on reel to reel at that point. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
They haven't
editing
got
is
to
still.
this is whippet shit phase. I
Yeah.
had it.
Or I think he possibly had.
And what, it was late 70s?
Yeah, 79.
Was he doing lots of VOs then?
No.
Because we know he did through the 80s and the 90s. And I, dear listener, was able to work with him.
You were. You got him to do a voiceover.
Quite a lot. We used him for about a year and a half.
Excellent.
Yes. And he was an absolute delight, but terrifying.
Of course.
Terrifying.
Giant of a man.
And he could tear the script to pieces and have a paddy and storm out, and you've just wasted a load of money on the recording studio. So it was slightly on tenterhooks.
Yeah. Well, so it was about this time you got into voiceovers, because David Brierley, I think it was, who took over K9,
Yes.
used to do loads of voiceover work.
Really?
And Tom
Really? David Bryan with that terrible voice.
the audio actor,
Says a man with a terrible voice. Yes, interesting.
used to do a load of voiceover work, and Tom was like, well, how do I get some of that? Because,
Loads of money.
it's good money, and you don't have to do an awful lot.
Don't have to learn the script.
Well, exactly. And so that's how he gets into it. So this would have been around the time. And if this was one of the first gigs, I guess he thought, great, I know this, I've done this before.
Yeah. Brilliant. I stood from the TARDIS. And you didn't, did you?
You didn't, mate. Sorry.
Memory cheats, doesn't it?
The story doesn't necessarily suffer. Does Sarah and Harry's involvement suffer at all? Or
they get the big, I think it feels to me like they get the big plot point around Sarah being independent and leading the Harry feels a bit spare party, which is unfair on Harry.
Yeah, a lot of his funnier moments. I mean, the landmine moment being the big one.
Yes, where he's heroic.
Yeah.
And some of the fun and games with Sarah Jane and Clam.
Yeah,
We
unfortunately.
missed the Clam. We'll get it on the B disc. Right? And he was heroic a few times. Yeah, I think he suffers.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he does really. He does need the more I think about it. I loved Ian Mart. I thought it was a wonderful portrayal of a stiff, upright character.
I know. Only 43 when he died. Yeah, absolutely. I think Nida suffers a little bit. We don't quite get as much Nida in this as...
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah, he is just
A henchman, isn't he?
he is a two-dimensional henchman that Davros instructs to micromanages,
Yeah.
as I would say in today's. He micromanages Davros.
Yeah, so, but
And poor old Nida, you can't resign from the elites, can you? And say, I want to go and work somewhere else.
Anything in
Terrible
HR.
boss. Yeah. Sorry.
no, it's a shame. But I still think you get the whole story works. It's just there's some of those supporting characters
not
that you
fleshed
leave
out.
out. Ronson as well doesn't get much of a look in, but you get the key beats and you get the big showdown between Doctor and Davros.
And that is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're like two scenes, aren't they? The sort of the setup with Sarah and Harry being tortured effectively, and that planet Hyperion, all of that, which ends, and then you've got then the conversation the two of them have. They feel like they're not rushed at all, and they're intact, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful scenes.
They are. They're great.
But would you do it? Just ranting quotes. Well, I'm enjoying myself.
Me too. Is there much more you want to say on Genesis?
I love the artwork on the
of course.
Wow. Again, big artwork, not less so on the cassette, but it was something you poured over.
Unusual though. It's not like the Targets, is it?
No, it's different.
Pop art, what you say.
Yeah, stylized.
Yeah.
And then that sort of line drawing logo as well. And the back, I really like the back. And all the credits and I was reading all the small print.
Yeah.
But there's something tactile about the way that you interact with the great big album cover. And I did sort of listen to it and just fall into those gaudily painted colours.
As I get older, I spent years only listening to download and streaming music, and I've started buying LPs again because there is something about reading those credits and staring at that artwork
and being forced to listen to an album in an
way
order.
through.
You can't go, I don't like this track. There's something about listening to the whole thing and treating it as a whole,
as an experience,
an
hour long or whatever it is experience. And I think so there is something of, I don't get that at Big Finish anymore. Like when you first got them and you'd open them up and then have those little they were like Radio Times clippings, weren't they?
Yes.
And it was a consumer experience, but the consumer experience has changed now. So
yeah, sadly. It's a shame because still the artwork on Big Finish is fantastic, but it's now only half an inch wide.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't get it's the inlay that you miss, isn't it?
It is.
But then I guess
it's just the thing that happens at my age. You miss the inlay.
but I guess it's the
I wish I didn't speak sometimes.
It's the extra features now on them that it sort of replaces that of like the 10-minute sort of making of that you get to the end.
Yeah, I really enjoy. And in fact, I really enjoy those. And I've just listened to a War Doctor Begins, absolutely brilliant. And listening to the actors talk about how they approach characterizations, I really enjoy that. And then when I listened to recently on cassette, the Genocide Machine, there was nothing.
Oh yeah, of
and
course.
I still feel a little bit half-cocked.
Well, we'll get to the Genocide Machine shortly, I reckon. But we must rate Genesis the Daleks, the LP.
Oh, yes. Oh, how exciting.
Now, is it a clanger, a banger, or an average meander?
Is there a level above?
Above ultra banger.
I think it's an ultra. I think it's the genesis of a banger. That's what it is.
Agreed.
Thank you. I feel like my homework's been approved.
Too hot for TV.
Shall we move on to the Dennis Fisher dolls?
Oh, yes.
So these were released in September of 1977. Other merchandise released at the time, the Doctor Who Annual, Terry Nation's Dalek Annual. You're not?
No.
Oh, Doctor Who and the Mutants, the Target book, and just to confuse things, the comic strip and TV comic with the Fourth Doctor and Leela was also called The Mutants.
Oh.
And on TV was Horror of Fang Rock.
Oh, what a story. Now, Horror of Fang Rock, just as a slight aside, if ever there was somebody going to do a stage play, Horror of Fang Rock would make a great stage play.
It would.
Because it's a couple of sets. You could get over with some lighting effects, the crappy green blobby alien.
8 cast.
Yeah.
That's about 8 or 10 cast. That's it.
Yeah. Be a great play. I think you could do a really atmospheric play. Let's put it on.
Let's do it. I've got 50 grand. Let's do it. Let's go. Did you own these dollies as a kid?
Well, Dennis Fisher, I got I think I was about 8, and after a year and a half of begging, I got bought the Tom Baker figure. You're doing a Tom Baker yourself then? And so I had the I don't want to call it a dollar. Can I not do that?
You can call it an action figure. That's what it was. That was the market.
So I got a few action men. There was another toy available at the time. So I got my Tom Baker, which I really wanted. So, a lot of saving and begging. I think, my mum always made me go halves with her on anything I bought. It was a very tight existence. But there we are.
Teaching the value of money.
They did. I've still got that figure. So I suppose I've looked after it. So had that figure, thought it was fantastic. So then I got an action man, and I got a Brigadier type outfit. Brilliant. I bought a load of Action Man clothing second hand at Jumble sale or something at the local school. So, and then I cut some of his hair off his, they had the sort of fuzzy hair.
Yeah.
I cut with a scalpel. I got some of that off his head and put it across. So
brilliant.
He had a moustache. So I had the Brigadier and I had a Tom Baker.
Perfect.
And I'd got, and I'd also then around that time, maybe over Christmas, I got a Pally toy talking Dalek.
Excellent.
So then I got another Action Man, and I got a little tin, popped him in there, painted the tin like a Dalek base. You can tell where this is going. Action Man black scuba diver outfit.
Right.
One arm, plasticine, bit of wire.
Excellent.
I've got Davros the Dalek, the Brigadier, and Tom Baker.
Do you still have
Genesis on the stereo? My bedroom, Scaro. The Brigadier is suddenly in Genesis on the Dalek.
Now, do you still have the Brigadier and Davros?
No, because like what happens to normal people, you go off in your life as you grow up, and you pop home, and your mom says, "Oh, by the way, all your stuff, I've just slung it out." You are. He was in the loft. Everything I owned got slung.
Oh, wow.
So
Tom was saved.
Tom was saved, so I'd take it in with me.
Brilliant.
I think I left home with 3 jumpers, 2 pairs of trousers, and a suitcase full of videos, Doctor Who videos, and a Tom Baker and a Dalek, and that was me gone.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Came back, we've slung your stuff out.
Oh, no. So you didn't have any of the other ones?
No.
Oh.
I do now.
Yeah, right. What do you have now?
No, I, under your misrule and guidance at various conventions, I picked up the TARDIS in box. I got a really good giant robot at a Doctor Who convention. It is absolutely complete, which is quite rare because lots of bits fall off them.
Yeah, it's the rubber inside that disintegrates so the legs and arms fall off.
Yeah, that's still standing on my bookcase. And then the last thing I bought, if you remember, we had a chuckle over it, was the Cyberman. That was 90 quid.
Oh, wow.
Wrapped in, and in bubble wrap with its nose intact. And that is, whichever way you look at it, bloody awful.
And you can't even do the joke. My Cyberman's got no nose.
How does he smell?
Excellent. Terrible.
Excellent. The cyber race will be confident. Yeah, and I quite like the Leela.
It's the most expensive one.
It's the most expensive one, and it's a bit shit.
Do you know why it's the most expensive one?
Because they made less of it.
They did. So they do the initial range, do the same amount, and then Louise Jameson leaves, and they carry on producing the ranges without Leela, but they never make Mary Tam or Lala Wolf. So there was less of them.
I was at college, and I used to have to walk to college. I must have been 17. And every Friday when I'd walk home, I'd lectures finished at lunchtime, I'd walk home and there was the local, market in the village. And I always used to have a nose round it, generally looking for Doctor Who stuff. And there on this stall, a Leela figure, the Holy Grail.
Oh, wow.
And it was something like £12. And I had a Saturday job and earned about £6. So I've thought, fuck, if I'm really good this week, then next Saturday, in 2 weeks' time, I can go and buy that. The following Friday, I walk past nervously. It's there. Great. I'm going to come back and buy that. Brilliant. Work the next Saturday, all through the week. Can't wait to Friday. Friday, I'm out the lecture. I'm down there. It's gone.
Oh, no.
And I've never recovered from that. That was, whenever that was in 1987 or something.
Wow.
So, and I've never got near one since.
Because it'd be good to complete the set.
Well, I kind of would, yeah. I've got a little tiny pallet toy K9, which I remember my dad took me to London big day out to London.
Like today.
To go to Madame Tussauds to see Tom Baker's waxwork figure and Meg Loss. And we went into the big toy shop, Hamleys. And they've got, I really wanted to buy the K9. And I came away with 3 jumping seats. So that was a disappointment.
Very sad.
But anyway, I've later bought one of those on eBay. So I've got some stuff. And then a couple of years ago, I treated myself to a second Pally toy Dalek.
Oh, amazing.
So I've got a red one and a grey blue one.
Excellent. So I've got a couple of these. I've got the Tom Baker, the Italian Tom Baker, though. Do you remember
Sarah?
As he famously said.
There's that one like eating a salami sandwich.
He does. He comes with one, actually. I don't really remember one of these battlefield or panopticons. Somebody had obviously found a box.
Suddenly, hundreds of them.
There was a good 20 or 30 out there. And they were cheaper because there were more of them. And so I picked up one of them. I've got a robot.
Remember that? I remember being there.
I've got a robot, a K1 robot, and I've got a very shabby looking Cyberman, which I picked up for not a lot of money, but like bits are falling off it and stuff like that.
Mine is complete.
Of course.
I've got my original Tom Baker figure. And then at some point, again, I think with you, not an Italian one, but I bought a boxed one. So I've got a minty one in a slightly tatty box. And then I've got my original one who stands outside it on my bookshelf.
Excellent.
Can I tell you a bookshelf story?
Go on.
With my last job, I did a lot of work with Lord March, who is a Duke,
right? Who
runs the Goodwood Festival of Speed,
right?
Okay,
I'm aware of it.
So we're talking about nobility, and he used to go to Goodwood House, and I had a number of meetings with him. And famously, he's got this antiquarian bookcase in his office, all these ancient books, and he's got this chair that his ancestor was given that was Napoleon's, because he became a Duke when they beat Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo. I'm on a Teams call with him. You know where this is going, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Behind him, antiquarian, nobility, the Duke, the chair. I'm sat on my cheap IKEA chair, and I start showing him my bookcase. You might have antique books. I've got a complete Target collection.
Was he impressed?
No.
Weird, that.
That's funny.
Yeah. How long after that did you work with him for?
Well, we were sponsoring part of the event, so I got the rest of the year, but he's blanked me ever since. So I think it's safe to say he likes cars. He's less keen on Doctor Who.
What a loser. Yeah. You've got to do both, right?
Exactly.
Because this is sort of pre-action figure. Like, so it's in the Action Man guys, as you say. Star Wars happens the same year, and then that's when action figures become little plastic things.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that these things exist.
I think they're wonderful.
They are. They're just such a wonderful bit of toy history.
What's that story about Gareth Hunt?
It's not true.
Is it apocryphal?
Yeah. So I looked it up, and what they said is, they sculpted Tom's head, and then there was a fire, so they used the mold for Gareth Hunt's head. But DWM a few years ago tracked down the guy who designed them. He said, no, it was just primitive production methods. Oh. So they do look at it similar, but it's purely coincidental.
To have a little tiny Tom Baker in 1977 or whatever was just brilliant. Because he got his first season jacket, hadn't he? And the pockets worked, and you could put a little sonic screen on. It was brilliant. It's
the clothes as well that just make it feel more tangible. Yeah. I don't know. People will compare them to dollies, but it's an exciting thing to have, even to me in the 90s, because you had Dapole and stuff like that. It was quite interesting just to have those giant figures. And I just think at least they got the fucking scarf on Tom, which Dapole didn't do.
Yes. It's a great figure.
Yeah.
It's a great figure. And the giant robot is probably the best.
Yeah.
The TARDIS is really good.
Yeah. TARDIS is good. Because you can just that spinny round.
Yeah, which is quite good. So I had to make a TARDIS out of a box and put paper on it, paint it, and it was big crap. So this TARDIS is excellent. I've got that in a box. So the box is ripped.
Yeah.
They look very nice on my shelf. And why was the Duke of Richmond not impressed?
I have no idea.
I'm going to write him a letter. Worried of Warwick.
Did you see any of there was a range made in about 2011 from Biff Bang Pow that was sort of was the same size, similar sort of thing.
No.
So you could make additions to your range. You could get a Sontara.
What?
You could
How
get
do
a
I not
Weeping
know about
Angel.
this?
Yeah, there was about 7 or 8 of them.
Stop the thing now. I'm going to go on eBay. Biff Bang Pow.
Yeah.
And have you got any of them?
I haven't got any.
And you have an admirable collection.
I do, but my collection is mainly books and DVDs and things like that, and then the stuff that I've got at my dad's that we bought in conventions back in the day. And I've got a bunch of Dappols,
And a Cyberman.
and a Cyberman head. But if I open the floodgates, it's like the vinyls. They release all these soundtracks on vinyls. If I buy one, all of a sudden
I've got to buy them all.
Yeah, and
You've just got to.
yeah, you just have to. So I'm very careful with what I open the floodgates on,
Well,
because
I ignored character. Is it character options?
Yeah.
The little 7-inch. I can't remember what that.
the new series figures,
Yeah.
and then they went
The
classic.
classic.
Yeah.
I resisted, like a recovering alcoholic. I resisted it for a decade, and then I was unhappy or something. And I thought I'd lift myself by buying robots, one of the Robots of Death on eBay,
Yeah.
and then I started, and now I've got 25 figures.
Ah.
And I've told myself it's okay because I'm buying them secondhand, and I try not to pay more than 20 quid. But then occasionally I bought a box set, Tom Baker with the Sharda thing, and that was
Yeah.
£95 or something.
Yeah.
What a waste of money. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I had
But I've got 3 Robots of Death, and one of them is sort of like the eyes light at red.
I had.
And I've got the brain of it.
Ah,
Morbius.
Yeah. Did you get a draft fig?
No, I haven't got.
You'd get-
Oh,
this
don't
was the
do that. I'm
puppet.
going to go and buy one.
I had a draft.
I love the way the heads came up and turned and the mouths open. That really moves me, that scene.
Well, it's your first.
It is, yes. I think it's it's just brilliant. I used to work with a wonderful chap, who was also a more gentle Doctor Who fan, but he's a very clever guy called Thomas Morphew. And he was known in the team as being incredibly clever. And I called him the brain of Morphew. And for about 3 months, every time we were on a Teams call, and all of us on our little tiles, I would just bring the brain of Morbius figure into the screen, and take it away. Yeah, I wonder why I got the sack. I think probably Duke of Richmond complained.
I think they're wonderful, wonderful figures, and it's. What's a shame about the Biff Bang Pow ones? They did 6 or 7, and then there was a toy fair where they had a bunch of all that they were going to release, including an Eldrad, a Sutek, but they obviously didn't sell. But I think you can get a Scaroth.
Oh,
So they're all in line.
I'm going to have a look at those.
Yeah, have a look. Spend a fortune.
Scaroth. Oh, the city of death. Well, don't worry, Dylan. We'll always have Paris, which is a cultural reference to Casablanca. Everybody
Indeed.
under 90.
Is there anything else you want to say about Dennis Fisher dolls? Figures.
Figures. Action figures. I had this lovely period of listening to Genesis of the Daleks with my Tom Baker in my own little made-up world, and it was marvellous. And my confession is, my other action man got turned into a Zygon, and one got turned into the Crispy Master.
Brilliant.
So that
Did you put it in the oven?
It's gas smart. I put it in the microwave. He was tapping at the window. What's brown and taps at windows? A Crispy Master. I just made that cut it out. So that Dennis Fisher range, I was intoxicated, and I can remember looking at it in the Argus catalogue and dreaming about them. It was exotic, and Kratoy's Dalek as well, and they fired my imagination. I think they were an important contributor to me being Doctor Who fan.
Excellent. Well, we must rate them. Do we rate them as a clanger, a banger, or an average meander?
They're a banger for me.
I would say they are a nostalgic banger, but actually design-wise, some of them aren't fantastic. I'm looking at the Cyberman and the Dalek in particular.
Yes.
So perhaps those are an average meander of a design.
Yes. I think in period they were bangers.
Yeah.
In the modern world.
Yes. A little bit more average.
Yes. Très van ordinaire while we're in a little noisy bistro in Paris in 1979.
Too hot for TV.
So this was released in April of the year 2000 on CD and cassette. It was from Big Finish Productions. It was written by Mike Tucker, directed by Nick Briggs, and produced by Gary Russell and Jason Haig Ellery.
It's amazing. There's a list of names to conjure with.
Indeed. It was recorded on the 13th and 14th of November 1999. Views at the time, Tim Baker had just launched his first website. When people got excited about things like that, the official Tom Baker website, and there would be, I don't know whether you ever went on it, but there'd be an Ask Tom thing. And so every now and then they'd publish answers to fans' questions.
I do vaguely remember going on the 3-page website that promised much more coming soon. Okay.
Well, he that was there for a while, and you could buy pictures, merch, all that stuff.
Yes.
Other news, Panopticon 2000 had secured BBC sponsorship.
We must have gone to that.
We did go. That was the one in Manchester.
Oh, was it?
In the bowels of that hotel.
Well, we spent a lot of time in the bar.
Yes.
And I've got lovely memories of talking to the brig at the bar, who would chat to anybody on the grounds that you'd then guiltily have to buy them a drink. And Liz Sadin and her daughter.
Sadie.
Yeah, and there was a man walking around as a Vox robot or D8.
I remember that because it was the launch of. They were just launching the DVD range, and that was the first DVD. Like they'd done the 5 Doctors a couple of years before as a tester.
Yeah,
but this was like, no, we're going to do them regularly.
That was a good year. And Liz was so, and she remembered meeting me a couple of years before, and she signed up some autographs, and she was just so generous with her time. Yeah, lovely. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth.
Other news.
I was in the audience for that.
Oh.
Panopticon 90-something.
93. So that was one that I didn't go to.
Oh.
So I think that was before we met.
Yes, it would be. Yes, about 95.
So I have the videos that came out of it, but yeah, I was not there.
I was there. It was, don't know where what was it, London? Or?
That was in London, yeah.
Oh, yes, that was when I got filmed. B Sky B, a story for another day. Which my daughter finds knicker-wettingly funny. But, yeah, I was there for that. And this rumour went round about mid-morning. And you've got to be in the hall at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And it whizzed round. And the atmosphere was electric. And then Tom... We haven't been to a convention for donkeys.
No, it was a good, like, it used to be the odd one in the States.
Yes.
Money.
Yeah. And not be a pleasure. And why wouldn't you? And yeah, he appeared, and it was a magical. It was only an hour, and it was just like a taste of what he could do.
Yeah.
And what you'd read about him doing. But he was just superb. And then Liz Sladen walked on the stage, and he melted.
Yeah. And that panel, I mean, it's on the collection box set somewhere now. It's a great panel. And it's just Tom being, it's sort of that second phase of Tom coming back to Doctor Who and being entertaining. But he's still not quite the early noughties Tom, where his stories just get more and more.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just about on the edge of reality at that point.
But only just.
Before he went into orbit. Well, that was wonderful, yeah. Elizabeth. So I love the way he says that.
One of the reasons I wasn't at that event was because you were... Well, no, I'd been to a con at that point. Where my first one was in 91, when I must have been 8 years old.
Good work.
But in 1993, I went off Doctor Who. I know, shocking. It was, I don't know why.
I know I do that when I tell you.
I don't know why. I just did.
Completely.
For about 8 or 9 months, I just wasn't into it. I got into something else.
Did something else replace your affection?
So it was the only 9 months in my life where I was into football.
What?
And I think as kids, you go through phases and you like different things.
Good God.
And I think I felt I had to get into football, which
social pressure.
Which I don't like.
No.
And I think after about 8 or 9 months, I was like, look at this. And then 30 Years of the TARDIS was on telly, and I saw that, and I was like, I'm back in.
All in.
And then I was in for life.
We are, aren't we?
I mean, it's true. Other news at the time, there was an announcement that Doctor Who Regeneration, a book covering the long gestating TV movie by Gary Russell, Philip Seagull was going to come out.
Oh.
Big Finish were publishing new Bernie Summerfield books for the first time. Donald Cotton had just died. Other releases were 2 books, Cold Heart featuring the 8th Doctor, Fits of Compassion, and Verdigris featuring the 3rd Doctor and
Oh, yes, I think I had both of those.
Yeah, I read Verdigris recently and I found it very odd and didn't quite gel for me, although it does have an entire chapter told by describing Tammy Snaps in a very sort of jovial, esoteric way.
Gosh. I remember reading like those, trying to do the voices.
What, in your head or out loud?
Bit of both. Very badly.
Too hot for TV.
The Doctor and Ace visit Carcharat to return some books to the library, where the Doctor's old friend Elgin shows him a wet works facility that contains the entire knowledge of the universe. Ace finds Bev Tarrant in the jungle, who is on the planet to steal the mysterious ziggurat. However, she was attacked by Daleks and her partner killed. The Daleks are there to take control of the wet works facility and use a Dalek duplicate of Ace to infiltrate the facility. The Doctor investigates the ziggurat, which turns out to be a Dalek hibernation unit. The Daleks capture the Doctor as they need the Time Lord's neural buffers to download the wet works, which they download into a Dalek test subject, with the Doctor apparently dying. While the test subject goes insane, Bev and Ace find a creature living inside the rain, and the Doctor finds his consciousness in the wet works, where he also finds that the wet works is based on enslaving the Carcharatans. The creatures are able to download the Doctor's mind back into his body, where he uses Nitro 9 to blow up the wet works facility and free the natives, while the Daleks are drowned by the creatures in the rain.
Too hot for TV.
So, when did you first hear the Genocide Machine?
So, when was it? 99, so
2000.
2000. I hadn't bought any Big Finish up to that point. So I got this thing where, and I just have this weird, I've sometimes have to really commit to something before I dive into it. And I want to be sure it's okay, because I don't want to be disappointed. Big Finish had come along, and I just didn't really like the sound of the first couple of stories, and they weren't the Doctors I particularly liked a lot. Really not a big fan of Mr. Davidson. You know, I've never quite got over that being dyslexic. It's like that really screwed me over. Maybe that's why I don't like it. So I wasn't really sure, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, Dalek story quite early on. Probably at a point in my life where not a huge amount of spare cash.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, this is worth the risk of whatever it was. I mean, probably not very much money, but it was still a thing to do.
It was a tenner or so, even back then.
Well, and you had to make the effort of sending off.
Yeah.
You know, which
if you didn't live by,
which I did. Yeah. It was going to involve envelopes and stamps and a check. Remember check?
I do remember check.
Postal orders or something like that. So it was a faff and an effort. So I thought, well, even if it's rubbish, you know, some Dalek voices, the irony, would be nice to hear those. Anyway, and off I went, and this double cassette came back, which I still have.
Excellent.
And that's the side of it. And it was the beginning, like Genesis was, Genesis of the Daleks, the LP, was the beginning of my fandom.
Yeah.
Probably converted into full fan status by the Peter Hanning book and the 20th. And went to Longleat with Dad. That was marvellous. I think the catalyst for going all in on Big Finish and going to the next level of fandom was Genocide Machine, because I thought it was fantastic. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Sylvester's portrayal of the Doctor throughout the story.
Interesting. And what was it about this that was, say, if 82 was slightly jarring for you, what was it about this that pulled you in?
That's a really good question. I feel like an MP. That's a really good question. But I think the question we need to answer is unemployment. No, so it feels quite traditional in a way. Maybe it's the rainy, wet planet. It feels a bit Planet of the Daleks. It's 4 episodes. It's quite linear. It's easy to follow. It's nice in the worst sense of the word, nice, but nice characters.
Yeah.
Easy to know. They're quite clear who they are, what the motivate, although there was a bit of a spoiler, a bit of a twist. But overall, it's quite accessible, and it's got Daleks, and it's an interesting story. And the wet works is quite a nice idea. The wet works data. So it just felt familiar enough to be comfy and new enough to be genuinely interesting.
Oh, I think it's because it's that thing of the Seventh Doctor era on telly is very experimental. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, but it's like it's trying to do new things. And I think that was absolutely the right thing for the show to do. But if you're someone that's drifted away from it slightly or didn't like that era at the time, hearing that Doctor and that companion in a traditional story.
It's a belter.
Yeah.
And I really, 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 really liked the way Sylph plays the Doctor. I, in fact, re-listening to it, the words of Nigel Bromley are spoken by an actor. Re-listening to I've just talked about Sylvester McCoy and I'm doing, let's do the rest of it with rolling it off.
I can't roll my arms.
Can't you?
No.
Oh, dear. Accident at birth. Well, I forgot what we talked about that. McCoy. Re-listening to it recently, I want more of him. Like, it was great. He wasn't phoning it in. He was taking it seriously, and there were really nice light and shade in his performance and his tone and his voice. There's real warmth in some, and there's real anger, and
gravitas,
and and whereas on the TV, I felt he hadn't really got that range, and he just did shouting when he's trying to be having gravitas. So he was better when
he's a decade on, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's learned things as a
better
performer.
Actor, yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, he's one of the people that tends to phone it in a bit more for the finish these days. You can tell that he hasn't read the script since he's been there. And
a bit like Tom Baker. He's become a characterised version of Sylvester McCoy.
Exactly.
And he rolls his R's a bit more often, and then he's there.
Whereas when you listen to a Colin Baker one, you can tell that he's read the script before, he's asked questions, he's got thoughts about each scene and how he's going to play it.
Colin's just fabulous, isn't he?
Yeah.
And performances are brilliant.
Absolutely. And I think this is that era where people who didn't like 80s Doctor Who
could come back to it
and go, oh, actually,
yes,
there is a version of this a decade or so on that works.
Colin is a great example of that. So I bought this, it was amazing, and I was in then. So I started, as much as I could afford, I started buying, and Colin's performances made him fantastic.
Because there's a weird sort of lineage for me of like BBV were doing their knockoff Professor and Ace audios.
And I listened to a podcast about those, and some of it I found shocking.
But I really loved those first few. So I was used to having McCoy and Aldred back sort of in the roles.
Yes.
And then, so it was a bit sort of like, oh, well, this is just more of the same to start with. But it was really when they got the Daleks. I was like, oh no, this is proper. This is proper. Yeah. This is legit.
It was. And I remember thinking the Daleks were amazing in this. When I re-listened to it, some of the Dalek voices are dreadful, aren't they?
Well, it's Briggs doing them for the first time.
And
Alistair Locke, yeah. And Alistair Locke doesn't do many more after this because I think, Alistair Locke is great at sound design, at music, and he can act, but I just think he realised that perhaps he wasn't.
That Daleks are not for him.
But this is it's written by Mike Tucker, who's written books.
Yes.
Never wrote for the TV series, although he was sort of
on the
tentatively in line to write something at some point. He said, what I want to do is back to basics, Pertwee era Dalek story, but with sort of the mood of the 80s.
Well, it does it really well.
And also freed from the shackles of Davros.
And it's got great music. And there's something atmospheric about it. That sense of the rain and the mist in the air. And it really builds a world very quickly.
Yeah.
It's great.
And that's Briggs. Briggs' direction, Briggs' sound design all helps to sort of...
It really does.
Like, it's a tone of Doctor Who that doesn't quite exist on the telly in any way, shape, because it's not 80s, it's not 60s, it's not 70s. It is like Doctor Who, the noughties version, the classic series done in the noughties. Yeah,
in a really good way.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that they gave a character the name Tarrant because that's such a nod to Terry Nation. And I love that.
So originally that character was supposed to be Bernice Summerfield. Oh. And then they decided not to do it. So they invented a character called Bill Tarrant who became Bev Tarrant.
Nice.
And Bev Tarrant comes back in Dust Breeding, which is another Seventh Doctor Mike Tucker one. And she joins them in the TARDIS for a little bit, which I've completely forgotten. She goes off with them at the end. I don't know whether she appears in any other stories, but then she goes into the Bernice Summerfield range.
Oh, wow.
So she's actually the first. It's not Maggie Staples' Evelyn. She is the first original companion.
Wow. Well, and that's interesting because I got the feeling at the end of the episode that Ace was thinking about, well, you know, do we invite her with us or don't we invite her? And I felt like there was a bit of hesitancy, and I felt like the Doctor just went, "There, see ya, she'll be fine."
But she did eventually go off and have her own adventures.
Well, he must have mellowed towards her.
Indeed. How do we think Briggs? You mentioned Alistair Locke's Dalek voices, but Briggs's Dalek voices are also. It's quite interesting.
It's the genesis of Nick Briggs, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a Dalek. Well, I know he did them in his own Doctor Who audio things, but yeah, they are much, much better tonally than Alistair Locke's. And it feels like half the time he gets the rhythm of the voice absolutely bang on. And then other times the rhythm feels slightly off for me, which might be deliberate to make it feel like the 1980s Daleks. Because they were slightly not there.
Yeah, absolutely. And because the Daleks in the 80s are very much second fiddle to Davros.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Revelation of the Daleks the other day. Loved it. But they might not as well be there, the Daleks.
Yeah.
You know, if it was just a Davros story and he got a bunch of humans around him, it would sort of fulfill the same function. I know he's turning people into Daleks and stuff, but they're very much sort of a plot point rather than a villain.
Yeah. Well, Davros, funny old character, isn't he? Because amazing in Genesis, kind of an interesting idea to find him and he's not dead.
Yeah.
But then it should have been left there. And then he just comes back and stops the Daleks being really interesting.
And
so in this, it was great to just have Daleks being Daleks, doing Dalek-y things.
Yeah. You suddenly remember what a threat they're supposed to be.
And this must be the first time, I'm assuming, that the Dalek Emperor is there.
Yeah.
And that's a great voice. And I'm assuming that Nick, tried to recreate what he remembered from Evil of the Daleks.
But it's not supposed to be the one from Evil of the Daleks, though. So,
but the largesse of the voice.
Yeah, because the voice. So it's part of a trilogy. This they do one. They call it Dalek Empire. So it's the mutant phase of the apocalypse element, and the cover for the mutant phase originally had the gold round-headed Dalek from the comics. Yeah. And that is what, but the nation state said, no, you can't do that, which I think was the right choice.
Well,
because I love those comics, but I don't know how well a sort of digital version of that. It's about how it's painted. And that cover is out there and it just looks a bit shitty CG.
Okay. I shall look out for that.
But whereas when it's drawn in the 60s, it sort of looks,
It looks of the 60s. There's something of the artistic style to it, isn't there?
Exactly.
It's got that 1950s American jet age feel to it, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Aspirational.
Yeah. So I think it was the right choice. And the special weapons Daleks in there as well. Yes. Love a special weapons Dalek.
I love a Dalek being told to self-destruct. Who doesn't like that?
Exactly.
So it's got everything. It is a bit of a greatest hits of the Dalek box ticking, and I love it for that.
And it's how you remember the Dalek child. Even though when you go back and watch Destiny, you go, oh, well, that's a bit ropey, or Death of the Daleks go, that's a bit ropey. But in your mind, as a 10-year-old,
that's what it. Yes,
yeah.
I think it's an exercise in nostalgia and making you excited about all the things you think are brilliant about Doctor Who. Just to distill that and turn that into a story, which I've assumed a lot today, haven't I? But I'm assuming, I guess, that this is right at the beginning of Big Finish. They're desperate for it to work. They've got to sell lots. How do you do that? You try and create the greatest hits that most people can buy into and therefore start telling each other, this is worthwhile, I'll buy another one. If that's what the purpose of this particular release was, I think it does it brilliant.
Because they thought they were going to do 6 a year so one every 2 months for a couple of years.
And they can.
But within a few releases, they've gone on for it.
Yeah.
And so, but then Gary Ross was smart. He's going, well, we can't just do the greatest hits of everything. So you don't immediately get Cybermen Dalek.
No.
Like the first thing you get, I think there's an Ice Warriors story, Red Dawn, which isn't great, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I remember quite enjoying it, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to revisit it. Maybe for this very podcast one day.
That's a good idea.
But But it's interesting that those early releases, they're just like, right, we need to tell a good story with these Doctors. So you get the Marion Conspiracy, Phantasmagoria, Peter Davison's first one, which is written by Mark Gatiss, but it doesn't feel like it's pulled out of the Davison era. It's trying to be a little bit more whimsical, perhaps a little bit more, it's probably Graham Williams era-esque in terms of its tone. It's not quite Hinchcliffe.
No, not too dark.
Yeah, but I feel like they're just desperately trying to tell these solid 4-episode stories that Doctor Who fans will respond to, and then they get the Daleks and they do this trilogy, and all of a sudden it sort of legitimizes it in a way that, not that it wasn't legit, it's a licensed product,
but it does make it a high quality license.
Yeah.
So I bought into that, and then I think I remember really enjoying the Spectre of Lanyon Moor.
Yeah.
And then I was off.
And then you get McGann.
Oh, do you remember we were?
Yes, we were.
In
the 2000.
Was it 2000?
Yeah.
That was thrilling. That was so exciting.
His first convention.
And he was back.
Yeah.
And he looked really, oh God, that was just, it was one of those things, wasn't it? I think it was announced quite early in the morning at the convention. We didn't quite know what to do with ourselves from that moment on. It was suddenly not a normal convention because this earth-shattering news was there.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting. And I wanted to put my underpants on my head and run around outside going, whoa! I didn't, obviously.
And again, when they launch McGann, they go, so it's not just a different release every month. It's like, no, you've got four months of McGann, one a month.
Yeah.
And again, it feels even more legitimate at that point.
Oh, yeah. Storm Morning's a great day.
It is. It's an absolute belter.
Yeah. What a brilliant companion they created.
Yeah. Who's still going now.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it was just, it's exquisite, wasn't it?
We're sort of on the...
those halcyon days.
This year is the year that Big Finish, 26 years of Doctor Who, so it's run as long as the classics.
That's amazing, isn't it? And arguably better quality.
I don't know. Some better quality. Some. I don't know. I've not heard it all.
No, I haven't. No. Perhaps I'll do telesnaps of the missing stories I haven't watched. Listened to. Watched? What the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? I genuinely think overall, all creative endeavours have hits and misses and everything in between the two extremes, but mostly it's good stuff. Big Finish, and it's more consistently enjoyable than the TV program's been for at least a decade. I really like it, and I'm very keen to forgive it.
But also, I think with the TV show, you've got 8, 10, 6, whatever it is, episodes a year. And if that particular showrunner or doctor is not to your taste, then you've got a year's worth of Doctor Who and you just go, well, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
With Big Finish, there's so much. And if you go, I like that range, and that range, you're personally going to have more hits, and your hits could be different to my hits. And
you've got very big hits.
Indeed. So it's sort of, you can hone in on a section of it.
And I think that's extremely well observed.
Well, I try.
And I do just that. I can't afford to buy all of it, can you?
Nobody can.
Nobody can, probably. So, I hone in on a number of ranges, quite a lot, but I really enjoy virtually all of it. Yeah. I've had a brilliant working career and worked around and with creative people and done quite a lot of radio work. And it's very hard. You can have a great script and a great storyboard and great performers, and it's all lined up, and then it just doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to be quite forgiving of Big Finish when they have all those elements and it doesn't quite work. Because there are other times when a kind of alchemy happens, the performers gel, and you just get something magical.
Yeah. And for all I might mock a Lady Christina series or something like that,
somebody's going to love it.
Somebody out there loves it. A regular on this podcast, Luke Malloy, owns the New Earth box sets, which I would never get.
No.
Never. But he raves about them, and so that's for him. And that's because he's very nostalgic about the Tennant era, because he was 10 years old when it came out. So seeing something set in that world really works.
Yes.
Whereas I don't give a fuck, quite frankly.
Well, I'm enjoying The War Doctor Begins. With, what did you call him? The actor?
Non-Hurt, my friend Mark Donaldson coined him.
It's wonderful. And I've been spending a lot of time trying to do so I listen to it in the car, and I quite often rewind it and then try and do the voice. Not at all successfully, but I think he's How he does that is superb. But I like the Third Doctor series.
I love the Third Doctor series.
And I've been really enjoying, odd as it is, the Second Doctor adventure.
Well, I haven't quite got into those yet.
You have to, I think you need a run-up at it.
Right.
And you have to persevere with it to the point where you stop going, it's not packed out.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. And once you get past that, there's a tipping point like that.
Right.
You can get past that. They're really good.
Okay.
No, say that again. They're really good. I don't know why that. And then, of course, while you're doing it, you can spend a lot of time trying to do a cough and then say, Jamie. Jamie.
Yeah, there's something that hasn't quite pulled me into that interpretation of the character.
The stories are, I'm enjoyed those.
What I like.
Whereas my favourite Doctor is Tom Baker, and he's a little bit more hit and miss.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people say that about Tom Baker. Having said that, I remember the first one coming out, Destination Nerva, and thinking that was a bit meh.
Yeah.
I listened to it recently and really enjoyed it because there's no pressure on it to be the first Tom Baker. It's just, and I was like, oh no, this is great fun.
The recent one I heard with the new Harry, I think I blathered on at you. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I think the guy playing Harry is doing a great job.
He took me a couple of minutes to get in, and by the end of, a bit like a new Doctor, you sort of go, I'm not sure about this new person. And then 10 minutes in,
it's Harry.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sold now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
So let's jump a little. Jump back to no. This podcast's all about tangents. Is there much more we want to say on the Genocide Machine?
I like the music.
The music's great.
The Daleks are a bit hit and miss. It's interesting to be in the beginning of them. I think Sophie does a good job.
Yeah.
I like Bev Tarrant. I think Syl's there. I really like the whole joke around the librarian. And I've momentarily forgot the name of the character that never speaks.
Oh, yes, of course. So that you won't even be on the character list.
It's Nick Bridge does the voice. Not does the voice.
It's the one that's sort of like a...
Yeah. And I think that's a jolly wheeze. I think that works really well. It doesn't disrupt from the tension of the story.
And that was Mike Tucker was like, I need to have a small cast, but I kind of need an extra character, so I'm going to have this one that doesn't speak, which is
genius.
It's the invisible spaceship again, isn't it?
Yes. Genius.
What I like about this, and I didn't realise it, I haven't heard it for years, probably a decade or so, is the pace. And I'd forgot, sometimes a full-part Doctor Who story written now can be a bit of a slog, I find.
Yes.
Especially because we're used to 15-minute episodes.
We are a TikTok world.
And so to suddenly go back to sort of 4 25 minutes with that Doctor who was largely 3-part stories.
Yes.
It suddenly just felt, I was never bored because the atmosphere and the pace just works. And it's
quite a nice, another warm blanket to wrap yourself in.
Absolutely.
I've got something I want to tell you. I confess.
Go ahead.
This is like a confession. Bless me, Dylan, for I've sinned again. I said I've had a really nice working career, but I have made it my personal mission to insert Doctor Who into it at every opportunity.
Okay.
So I've used Tom Baker for radio advertising. Every time there was a photo shoot for the last 30 years, there has been a bloody Dalek in it. So. All sorts of things. And I've tried to use Doctor Who actors for all sorts of filming and stuff. Not long after listening to this, I did some work with Skoda. And it was to do with redesigning their showroom environments and stuff that went on. And one of the things we invented as part of this design exercise was a huge triangular piece of point of sale would have embedded video screens that you could interact with that would sit in the middle of the dealership. It never actually happened in the end, but we made one. And I called it a ziggurat. And for at least 2 months, there were 3 prototypes put in dealerships, and grown-up serious people that worked for Skoda were talking about the ziggurat. Now,
incredible.
Enormous amounts of pleasure. That's
amazing. I love that.
And little things like I did a photo shoot for a shelving unit, and I got a Dalek onto the shelving unit that made it onto the packaging that went on something that was sold in all the stores around the UK for about 10 years.
Amazing.
That's my job in managing the Doctor Who through the wilderness years.
Brilliant. The Genocide Machine, a clanger, a banger, an average meander.
It's a wet and rainy banger.
Indeed, another banger from me.
Too hot for TV.
Well,
I've done well.
you have done well.
Done very well. Winning at life.
We've come to the end. You don't have anything. You don't have a Doctor Who podcast to plug.
No. Can we do that again? Come to the end. Has the moment been prepared for, Dylan?
It has been prepared for, but you don't have anything to plug.
No, nothing.
Nothing at all.
No.
Excellent. Next time, I'll be joined by Ian Martin, and we'll be looking at 2 Big Finish 8th Doctor stories, The Next Life and Terra Firma. Well, until next time, I've been Dylan.
I've been Nigel Bromley.
And this has been Doctor Who, Too Hot for TV.
Woohoo!
Too hot for TV.
Oh, Christopher Benjamin's just died. There we go. That's very sad.
Oh. How did you...
I was literally just...
Is that a new flash or
it
someone
just came up?
messaged you?
Someone texted me. There we
Gosh.
go. Well, there we go. Very sad.
Well,
And he's not...
we can pretend we've had a moment of silence for him and it's just been easy.
I'll just... Yeah, exactly. We had a cry. Listeners, we had a cry. Sorry. So, Wet Planet.
Wet Planet feels a bit Planet of the Daleks. 4 episodes, very linear.
Yeah.
Easy to follow.
Too hot for TV.
Nigel, how do we know each other? I've just spilled coffee all over my notes.
I'll put my clothes back on.
Smooth. Try that again.
Too hot for TV.